Hi. I have not tried to shoot a video on this new camera yet, so I'll be honest, I don't know how the sound is or anything. I know it has sound. Hello. Good morning. I've been sitting out here drinking coffee. I'm house sitting, and at this lovely outdoor area. That's lovely in the morning, and I'm talking to myself about all the things, and I realize I haven't talked to you guys about the things. So here we are. I'm unkempt, I'm unwashed, I'm unbrushed. So be it. And as usual, I'm going to preface that it's nothing new. It's really not. Maybe there's a couple new bits. Actually, that's a lie. Sorry, 2 bits. So, going back to the beginning, like the first video, where the idea was that in order for us to keep some kind of composure with everything that goes on for us right now, and I guess I don't think it's strictly American. I don't. I am American, and I'm in America, so that is my vantage point. That in order for us to be able to move forward with any kind of composure, consistency, compassion, kindness, anything, we need to sit down, shut up, and listen. That has been the premise of all of this, right? If you've followed me at all, that's a reminder. And if you're new, hello. That is the basic premise of all of this. Why is it the basic premise of all of this? Well, if we are not receptive, then we're not receptive to anything. So you may think, let me back up. People have a tendency to operate from a place of self-righteous indignation. Yes? I know I do. And I know that because I'm human, you do too. It's not just a me thing. The thing that might be a me thing, though, is that I'm acutely aware of it now. And so when it happens, I am much quicker, maybe not perfect. It doesn't not happen. It most certainly still happens. But what I can say is that I recognize that when I'm coming from that place, when I am viewing the world from that place of self-righteous indignation, nothing good comes from it. Nothing. And it doesn't even make me right. It just makes me indignant. Yes? So that's the same for everyone. And what happens when you catch yourself doing that? First of all, it alleviates a lot of suffering. It also alleviates a lot of potential for causing yourself more problems. You know, like when you've got that drunk friend that just gets real belligerent when they drink and they just cause problems, and every time they wake up the next morning they're like, oh, fuck. I got to call, I got to apologize again because I don't know what I did. It's that energy. It's you get to a place where you think you're so correct in your anger that you have rights. That's not what that means. It's not what it means. It means you're about to get into trouble. So it would really be in everybody's best interest if they were to become aware of when they are operating from that place and not. Just don't. And the way that you practice that is you start practicing self-love. Loving yourself. Operating from a place of self-love, first, foremost, and always. And I can hear some of you going, oh, that's selfish. It's not. It's selfish to project your bullshit onto other people. That's selfish. It's selfish to not deal with your own shit. It's selfish to continue the trajectory of not loving yourself and your bullshit and your abuse to your children. And then send those children to school and demand that those teachers deal with it. That's selfish. It is not selfish to look at yourself and look at your life and say, you know what? I'm going to practice loving myself so that I can look at the world from a place of compassion and growth, proper perspective, awareness, accountability. Here's the thing. When you love yourself, right, you make decisions from a place of self-love. It's not confusing. It's not frustrating. It's, I love myself and I don't want to do that. It's, I love myself and I set boundaries. When you love yourself and you're setting boundaries, you understand that you're doing it for you, right? Setting boundaries, as we've talked about, is not about telling other people what to do so you can feel more comfortable. It's about recognizing that the environment you're in makes you uncomfortable and you are thereby going to do something different. Right? And it's much, much easier. You know, I don't know if you are clear on this. The reason I make these videos, the reason I have the website, is all to assist in alleviating suffering that we cause ourselves. And that is not to imply fault, but it is to imply accountability. So while things that have happened to you may not be your fault, if you're an adult, it is your responsibility to do something to heal from it, whatever it is, and to not project it and to not continue it. So while I have compassion for things that have happened to people, I do not have empathy for them if they're not going to do anything for themselves in regard to it. Because inevitably what that means is they try to push it on me or other people and gaslight them into thinking somehow it's their responsibility. And it's not. It has also become clear to me, and I'm just going to break this down into one sentence, that I think the reason that we do anything to cloak ourselves, right? We cloak ourselves with coping mechanisms, right? We cloak ourselves with boxes of identity, of social conditioning boxes, or this box. This box, if I put myself in this box, or you put me in this box, then we all feel safe. The box is safe. The box is not safe, for the record. The box is an illusion. It is not safe. And what it is we think we are unsafe from is the one thing that we absolutely positively cannot stop from being true, which is that we are on a planet hurtling through space. That's the truth. That's the truth. And that's what we're afraid of, is that sensation. Think about it. If you really could feel the velocity, the movement that this planet is making through the cosmos, it would scare the shit out of you. But that's the thing we're trying to protect ourselves from. I mean, and we do it, right? I can't necessarily, while I'm sitting here looking at the clouds and things, I don't necessarily feel it. But I am more aware of it now. And I really think that when we're talking about when Abraham Hicks talks about being in the vortex, the high-flying disc, not being resistant to your vortex, I really think that this is what they're talking about. I think they're saying, accept the truth of where you are and stop utilizing cloaking devices to veil yourself. And I also think that if we really got into the practice of feeling ourselves on this planet hurtling through space, then some, if not all of the things we think we want would no longer be important. And that, I think, we're afraid of. This is a very... When people say that this is an illusion, I think this is part of it. This idea, these things, these concepts. Ooh, sorry. Air conditioner. The things that we have come up with, our storytelling narrative, to put people into the box. You know I hate the box, but we have the box to feel safe. That's an illusion. This idea that there's only one God, and unless you believe in that God and that religion, you're wrong. That's an illusion. This idea that God, if you believe in God, that God made people, but not everyone somehow. Like, if you're a person that believes in God, but you also believe that God only made you and people like you, girl, that ain't right. That's just not right. That shit makes me laugh. Okay, so if I were to give you something to work on, a piece of advice, a way to look at things, a different something to step upon and operate from, it would be this. Love yourself, first, foremost, and always. Remember that you're on a planet hurtling through space. If you believe in God and you believe that God made everyone, then that means everyone. And that there has been a lot of bullshit thrown out there in the name of safety. That's not safe. And it's not true. But for whatever reason, it's very powerful and it works. So that's the scary thing. That, to me, has a tinge of evil to it. It's not... I don't think that's godly to do that. Because it puts people in boxes and it makes... we fall into the right-wrong category, right? And remember, we're practicing not doing that. We're practicing not looking at things binarily, because nothing is binary. That's a lie. The binary is a lie. Based in fear, I think. Because if you are able to consider all the possibilities of anything at any given time, there's no box for that. What do? I can't put it in a box. Well, then don't put it in a box. No box. Just allowing. See everything as it is. Choose from that menu. Right? Why limit the menu? Because you're scared of all the options. I know, and then I immediately think of like a Cheesecake Factory menu, which is entirely too big. And I wish that it was smaller. I haven't eaten there in years, but I remember that from having eaten there. Yeah, I mean, see everything that is present, narrow down as per your preference, but don't make it about right or wrong. Just make it about your own personal preference. So those are our things we're working on. Loving yourself. Accept that you're on a planet hurtling through space. Practicing all the options without narrowing it down to simply binary concepts. Remember that if you believe in God and God made everyone, then that means everyone. And accept it. Not saying you have to do anything you don't want to do. It's mind-boggling to me. And I'll tell you what, life is a lot more fun, and it's a lot easier to deal with the things that you don't have control over. That's another part of this. We're all so bent out of shape about what we have control over. Go ahead and deal with the things that you do have control over. That will mitigate and minimize the stress and anxiety around the things you don't have control over, right? Because if you're dealing with your shit and you are taking care of yourself and you are operating from a place of self-love, then things are much, much clearer. And then you can go, okay, this nonsense, I don't see how I have any control over whatever this is, but I'm aware of it now. Good enough for now. Good enough for now. We'll come back to that. And then you can put things in a place where you can see them, but they don't necessarily affect you negatively, because you can see them clearly. I really hope you could hear me over that. And if not, And also, when you operate from a place of self-love, it's really easy to get out of conversations that you don't want to be having, that are nonsense, that are just people being indignant. Because then you can very simply just say that, look, man, just because you're operating from a place of self-righteous indignation doesn't make you right. It just makes you indignant. And until you're receptive, this conversation is over. And then you're done. Doesn't that sound easy? It is easy. It is easy. Because what we're not going to do here is try to make people change their minds. Not really. Yes. But also, you can't make anybody do anything they don't want to do. So you're just not gonna, right? It only works if they're receptive, and once they're receptive, there's no stopping it anyway. So that is what I want for this planet, is acceptance, receptivity, self-love, awareness, which ideally would lead to joy, abundance, jubilance, the ability to have empathy and compassion, coexistence without much issue, right? So that is my goal, and I'd like it to be other people's goal as well. Yeah. So thank you for listening. I hope you have a lovely day. Happy 4th, if that's your thing. And I know that was insincere, wasn't it? I don't actually care. I should be honest, I don't care about the 4th. But yes, if it's something that brings you joy, I do hope it brings you joy tomorrow. And whatever it is that brings you joy, I hope you find it. We'll go there. Okay. Thank you very much. Have a great day. Bye.